All right, guys, let's talk about comparison for 2026 because it's something that we all struggle with to some degree, right? But what are practical ways that we can stop falling into the trap of comparison and stop having our joy stolen, right? Because comparison is the thief of joy. So, when you're making music, when you're producing music and you're trying to get better and you're listening to other people's music, whether it's your peers or professionals who are clearly of a higher caliber than you maybe are now, there's often comparison always naturally comes into play, right? But there's ways that you can limit the negative effects of comparison. So comparison can make you feel demotivated if you sit and dwell on the fact that someone is like on paper better than you, like maybe their songs have got more streams or plays, or maybe you can just hear that their songs are have a higher quality. Like on paper their stuff might be better, but obviously the first thing to remember is that music is subjective anyway, so there's not really it's not like a it's not a mathematical thing that someone's better than you or not, it's just down to opinion. So obviously that's the first thing, but that's all well and good, but you still drift into comparison anyway, right? And so the only I can see a hot air balloon going out the window. That looks awesome. Sorry about that. So the best way is just to focus more on yourself, basically. The thing with comparison is when you drift into comparing yourself to someone else, you've in that moment you've shifted your focus away from yourself, or focusing on yourself, to focusing on someone else, and that's essentially what the problem is. And that's a really easy fix because you just redirect your focus back to you. So you have to be so almost self-absorbed and self-obsessed with your own music that nothing else really matters. So nothing else really comes into your kind of world, So there's ways to sort of build that bubble up around yourself, like mentally and emotionally, so that you can actually use other people, music from other people, and comparison to an advantage. So there's two things that can happen when you listen to someone else's music, really. You can think, oh my God, this is so good, like I wish I was that good. Or you can think, oh, this is actually not as good as what I can do. Those are like the two things that you could like maybe think about when you hear someone else's music, right? And if it's the first one where you feel like you're behind and they're in front, you basically just have to look at it through a lens of like, okay, what are they actually doing that's making me feel that way? Like, what is it about their music that is making me feel like mine is not good enough? And then that is obviously what you need to focus on and work on, So it becomes like a bit of a mirror. Like it might trigger you a little bit, but that's sort of data, it's information that's telling you like, okay, I'm feeling this way about this. Like I'm feeling like the comparison creeping in. That's a signal to be like, okay, well, they're doing something that I know I should be doing as well. So basically you have to treat it like a signal and treat it like data, and just try and pull something from it quickly, and then just mentally pull a couple of ideas from it quickly, but don't sort of linger and dwell on it for too long, and then shift your focus back to yourself. So the key really is the focus shifting. You don't want to be focusing on someone else for too long. You just have to switch it off and get back to your own goals and your own work. So don't linger on it at all. And then the other thing is, if you hear something from someone that's like not, maybe you feel like you're at a higher level than them, then like give them a little leg up, like help them out a bit. That's what I built my Discord for like our feedback live streams. Is for people to like bring each other up and help each other out if they can, say it in a really constructive way that's not meant to be demoralizing. But you say, look, hey, I think I know what could really help you here. Is something that you're doing. Like, try doing this instead, and it'll like help you advance a bit quicker. So those are really the two things. So you fall into comparison thinking that's, you know, you can help someone out, or you feel a bit triggered because someone's really smashing it more than you are, and then you don't linger on that. You just try and you try and like notice the trigger and the mirror, and just try and like pick one or two quick little points on what you could focus on to improve, using them as a blueprint. And then you quickly shift the focus back to you, so you're not like lingering on it. You'd like focus back on your own work again, you know? So the goal is always just to bring it back to you, and bring it back to focusing on like the actual tasks that you've got to do, like now, like in the tracks and projects you're working on now. Like bring it back to the present on what you're actually doing, because don't linger in comparison, because it's like fantasy, it's not reality. You know, you need to like bring it back to reality in what you're doing now always. So don't like linger in that realm. And if there's someone lower than you'd, like just give them a quick leg up as well. So that's really my golden advice for comparison. It's like, yeah, that happens, and like you drift into it. But the trick is just to shift the focus back onto you, and just be more like self-absorbed with your work. That's really the main thing, because like if you're so absorbed in your own work, none of that stuff matters at all. You know, it doesn't affect you. It only will like affect you if then it like brings you out of your creative flow and your workflow, and you have to make sure that that's like strong enough so that you can get those moments of comparison, but they don't like break your stride at all. So keep your stride strong, and like just the goal is shift the focus back on you. And if you're like really absorbed in what you're doing, you will do that naturally anyway. But if you're not able to, if you're lingering in comparison and you're not shifting the focus back onto you and what you should be doing, it tells you that you're basically you haven't created a strong enough sort of like work, maybe not workflow, but you haven't created a strong enough sort of narrative or goal of everything you've actually got going on. Like you need to like build that part of your process like bigger and stronger and better. You need to like, you know, sit down and do some journaling or whatever, and make a bigger, like better game plan for what you're actually doing. So you need to have that strong like mission that you're focused on. Focus on that mission, and like when you're so focused on that mission that you're doing, you don't have time to do the comparison stuff. You just haven't really got the time for it because you're too absorbed with what's going on right in front of you. So stay absorbed in your own goals, and use little moments of comparison as little mirrors to give you like a couple of ideas, but don't linger there, and then help other people come up as you go along, because it's like a nice balance always, you know. So that's it for today. Super easy video talking about comparison. Yeah, we all fall into it, but the trick is to get a little bit from it and don't let it move you from your mission. Okay, so one thing I advise you to do after this video is to check out my Discord. I built a production community in there, and the whole vibe in there is about this. It's about helping each other without drifting into comparison. So that's what's good. It's not a competition. It's a supportive space where everyone is at a different level and everyone is in their own lane, but we do our best to help each other with the particular lane that we're in, and we don't feel demotivated or compare ourselves to the others who are on paper perhaps doing better. We just learn from it. So it's just a learning circle. So my Discord is accessible via Patreon. You can find the links down below. And yeah, it's the best environment to really learn in. Secondly, if you need like a little bit of a faster upgrade for your own sound, book a one-on-one mentorship session with me. Often one session will be enough for me to give you like some golden advice that'll give you like a better direction. So that's it for today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Much love.